So that place, Chivekimeta, Wekula, that was between 1920 to 1996. How old were you in 1996?
It means I'm just interested in the story.
How old were you in 1996?
And the areas have grown and transformed.
How old were you in 1996?
So the first marketing of the place was negative.
I'm giving you facts. I wanted to know, were you able to understand and comprehend anything happening in your society in 1996?
As a born of the area, I have that history.
How old were you in 1996?
In 1996, was I making 8 years?
8 years?
So you didn't know what was going on. So while you were 8, for us who were mature then, the things were happening. So when you talk about Uwekula, the people of Jinja, remember two critical things: a place where people are strangled and a place where the thieves share
the loot.
Which a place has transformed you?
That's a subject of another day. For now, so Fred Mwesigwa, the head of current affairs ku station eno, current affairs manager, my brother Andrew Mwase uva Bulaya. Yo Bulaya.
Tibeta Bulaya. America.
Uva America. Ate promoter wa MK under the team chairman MK movement. Tenga musoga munaife a biomedical engineer from Massachusetts. Yes, in the United States of America. Yera tudakuwa tukuwaya na ikubi office. Tuja kuwaya biomedics, no? Tuja kuwaya Busoga. We'll start, producer, we are going to start from Busoga, where the political battle for supremacy by the FDC, by team chairman, by the NRM, Busoga Consortium, characterized the whole of this week. Busoga, which is home to 4.4 million Basoga, is the focus of political fighting now. Everyone is running after Busoga. I think maybe because Busoga has not produced a candidate in the promising race to come, or because the place is gullible, very easy for everybody to tell lies, or the place is highly vulnerable that everyone can play around with it. Before we go there, Mwase, having moved Kuba last week, to go and move around Busoga.
Yes.
Come back and see if the conversation you, if you have taken a whole 2 or 1
week. Whole week.
The whole week. You not reach Kaliro.
I didn't reach Kaliro, but I
talked
to people from Kaliro.
You talked to people, yes, but I had said reach.
Yes.
Yeah. In examinations, instructions are as important as the questions.
It's a prioritization. So.
Very good. So, after a week of you moving around Busoga, tell me, how is Busoga?
So, according to my information from people that I went in Busoga, my idea changed slightly, not dramatically. What it showed me that Busoga has issues, they're very serious, but they're a representation of what's going on in the country. Although it's happening at a little bit more strenuous way in Busoga, but it's not isolated. The issues are the same that's happening across the country. It's just a little bit more dire, and for a variety of different things that we can, if you want me to go into some of the things.
Beautifully.
Yeah.
We have a whole 2 hours.
So this vulnerability of people in Busoga, and it's caused by, I think, of course, poverty. People will do a lot of things when they're poor, right? And the poverty is caused by also a lot of other things. And some of them is definitely service delivery. Busoga has not really been prioritized in some terms of service delivery. So that's why some of us are here. We want to advocate for that area, for services to reach the extreme ends of Busoga. Also, and as I mentioned before, I went back to confirm to what I said was true. the industries in Jinja have really increased tremendously.
Increased tremendously?
Yes.
Increased?
Because for me, I moved across the whole Lake
You are
region.
using the word increase?
Yes.
What?
I told you again, I'm a businessman, so I work with some people. The Yongeire. So the only problem why you don't see the impact in Jinja, because the taxes from those industries come to the central government, and then they are portioned. They're not well apportioned to the people of Busoga where the money is coming from. But Busoga is generating a lot of money from taxes to the central government. So for us, our advocacy.
That statement, Busoga is generating a lot of revenue through taxes to the central
government.
And getting what in return?
So it's disproportionate. So most of the money is coming to the central region, into the western region, and it's not reaching back to Busoga. It's disproportionate, right? So that's what I gather from the folks that I talk to. I didn't gather actual numbers, but you can see from the infrastructure in Busoga, it's really poor, right? So even the budget of the council is very, very low. They can't really, they can't meet their budgets. They can't meet everything they want to do, and it's very, very little money that goes back to them. That's why the roads are terrible, right? Service delivery is bad. The health of the individuals is horrible. So anyway, as I was saying before, those same issues are spread around the country, and they're issues for everybody. In Busoga, they're a little bit more. And I think it's just because of advocacy. I don't think we do a good job in trying to show the government that we need them to increase the money coming back to Busoga, especially because we're generating a lot of tax revenue from Busoga. And those are things for me, as a diaspora person on MK team chairman. Those are things for me I highlight to my folks that once we make some of these transitions, or even now, because again, you had said people, then NRM and then MK, and I said before last time, it's the same thing. There's no difference. So even right now, we can advocate directly.
Why do you say the same thing?
The NRM.
I belong to the MK group. I am not a member of the NRM.
So within MK movement, we are trying to change that narrative. Again, for me, I've talked to most of the leaders in MK movement, and we're trying to change that narrative. We're definitely under NRM. All of us are born of NRM, and I've been a cadre for a long time for NRM, right? So the MK movement is born out of NRM, and we subscribe to the principles of NRM. And we can say there are some issues that we need to address, but within the structure. There's no difference.
I belong to FDC.
Right. Again.
I am a leader of FDC in Kaliro.
Right.
But I support General Muhoozi Kainerugaba.
Right.
So do I have space in your group or not?
Yes, there's space. So what MK has done, because there's been a lot of fighting between the teams for FDC, DP, UPC, NRM, a lot of abantu nga tibenda kutyama kumeza ndala nga webajana kumeza ndala waliwo just fireworks. So what MK has done is said, no, this country is for everyone. We invite everybody to the table, and we should be tolerant, right? You can differ in a democracy. Me and you can have completely different ideas. And we come to the table and we talk and we get a path forward. That's what is very important by the MK movement. Create abantu bona bona on one table, because as MK, Toja leading this country just as one group. No, the country has a lot of other people. That's why everybody is coming to the same table. So that's what we're advising our fathers, our forefathers, especially in NRM. No, we need to be a lot more tolerant than we have been before. That's what this group is that's the difference it's making.
Mu statement indala. Olikwira mu America. Ojja kwagana bantu bobokulira abamaze emyaka 2 tibayidda ku Busoga.
Yes, sir.
Ojja kubayira oti muna nabayire eidenda. Busoga is in one statement. Why are you going to tell them? Busoga is what?
Busoga is moving on. Busoga is developing.
Oh.
It is. But it has real issues. Yeah. There's movement. Main Street ya Busoga wajerikanga bweri. Now the Fenya wajerikanga bweri. No. There's been some development there. It's just there's issues. As I said before,
you are going to paint a picture for someone who has taken 15 years without coming here.
So, somebody who hasn't come here before. First of all, this country is peaceful, first and foremost. About but you're quid no bakubanga baloza nti obayinaide no bajaba arresting era wale ku border
This country is peaceful.
Yes, so there's peace in this country. You can come here and
The
do business.
ADF attacked us in Kasese and killed 42 last Friday.
Yes.
Is the country peaceful?
The country itself.
In Mijinja, where you are coming from,
Right.
on Tuesday,
Yes.
a journalist, the son of Mwami Chifubangabo, a minister in Obwachabazinga,
Right.
was hacked to death.
Right.
Is the country peaceful?
The country is peaceful. So we had this conversation last time.
Let's have a short break and return with Mwase. I don't know what peace means.
So
Mwase.
yeah, we
Let's
shall
have a short
define
break.
what I mean
Let's
by
have
peaceful.
a
Yeah.
short break.
Yes, yes.
okuba ate nga agaali mu Busoga and somebody who were in Busoga at least a spell of 30 years back, if 20 years back, wabanga izeyo saawa eno ayinza okuba nti yalekayo takyagayina eyo. Why does Busoga not able to contribute worth it? Mwasa alwira okujja e Busoga. The development is looking at akola oluguudo lwa Main Street. Of course tilwaliwo.
Alwaliwo.
I mean,
Lwaliwo.
standard yeruli ku saawa.
Maybe standard. Yo bote ne yatawo ebyo. Mogo yego bagwa kugubulo okusinga bungi.
Oluguudo lwa Nalufenya. Kati oluguudo lwa Obotowero na lwakolebwa. Bw'obanga olingire mu road network, there is a slight improvement in transport. Estawania region, wobera oli kwogera, is it vulnerability? Is it poverty? Is it what?
Of course, one brings the other.
Bw'obanga olingire other regions zitawanisibwa obwavu. Aye, region edindi zisobodde etya okwetoola mu kizibu ekyo daasesetukako osinga Busoga. And ekiyambye regions zino, kibeere deliberate yali abakulembeze abava mu regions edo okusobola okusika okuva ku national cake baleeta mu regions ze bavaamu. Because imwe beene mu region emuli eza kyemusobola kwekolera. If the national cake is shared, buli omu kyatwere wonna izeewuwe n'ekisobola obaako mu kyekikola impact mu kitundu kyavaamu. Now the challenge we have, and this mindset into region ya Busoga, many people balowooza nti okukyuka kuno okwekulankulana, it is getting top ministerial positions. Era President Museveni walonda nawe wa top ministerial positions, some Basoga are comfortable and they sit and they forget to change their lifestyle. Now, these top ministerial positions balowooza nti balijaska from the national cake baleete Busoga. And you find some of them bamaliriza nga tibakoze bantu kye babasuubiramu. So the region remains stunted because abantu balowooza nti President Museveni wanaatuwa ekifo kino ABCD kajaba kadiba ketujja okusikira tusobole okulankulana. Now, the people who are on the table, on the sharing table, bamaliriza nga some have shared for themselves, not the region. Nekiri singa ino okosa the region, yandibeere ngeri far better next to central region. Because obanga olingire Busoga is endowed with a lot of resources, tourism topping the list. Many people travel from all over, they are coming to Jinja Katishula for tourism. And on record, on the national budget, tourism contributes a lot of money. And many people come to Jinja and Busoga. Why is it that Busoga is not changing? And other parts are changing. Okuva Musent, Ediva mu tourism, when the tourists are coming to Busoga. So the mindset is crippling the development in Busoga. And it is one thing which is very hard to change. So if I could go back where Mwase comes from, my reporting could say the development is stunted, yet the people, they are capable of developing.
So I beg to differ completely. So the development is not stunted. You work with Busoga, is it the same way? Is it the same Busoga that you work with? That's the question. When you are growing up in Busoga, is this the same stunted Busoga that is now?
The Busoga I grew in,
yes,
and the Busoga I'm seeing.
And the Busoga now.
The other Busoga was so much rigging. The Busoga currently, the faces and the things which look genuine, I may call it they are perishable. So I may not feel that the Busoga I grew in is the Busoga I admire now.
But there was growth. We have to accept one thing. The growth that was there, the growth was there to Rwanda. Movement here, Busoga, you don't like how fight has moved, but it has moved. But not as much as you want. We have to agree on one thing. So you guys have to understand one thing, especially people in the opposition. Okay. Ndageza kukoba kintu. Abantu olwise ebintu babikoba mu extreme. Okukulankulana kubaireyo. Aye, not as much as you want. Ate abantu population yeyongeire ino. Ate especially abasoga tuzaala ino. Kali waire abantu bakuze ebizibu bikaliwo ebyo kubanga of population growth. So bikali wayinga okukulankulana kukosechi kubaireyo kuna abantu bene. Oja mu byalo eyo zanjanga mu byalo eyo my uncles balinga ni bujagali obutono ayinga nabagega kuki ku byalo ayi buti oja oyagana abantu amamotoka ga parkings mu mayumba manji abantu balina kunena amabati n'obutegula across Busoga. So it may not translate directly. Ayi abantu abona basomesa abaana ekitakolebwanga okubatwala mu universities n'okubatwala everywhere else. Those things we have to recognize. Ayinga obuzibu bukaliyo. And so when I again Kaliro, for example, abantu exploiting, for example, religious people. They exploit these people. There's a guy in Kaliro recruiting abantu yabakuba mutunda amataka gaimwe. Yabakuba mutunda amataka gaimwe mufune ka plot muchi muiguru. Moyo mwene oyo kai yagema abantu yabalimisa kunimiro de yakuba nti muje mu cultivating akataka kaimwako. Mujja ku improving akataka kaimwako kaliwa muiguru abantu bala for 30 days. Kale amaka gono nakubanga abakazi baleka amaka. Baleka abana waka okujja cultivating akataka komusaadde oyo. Ati ba maringa bana abana abato. They just distribute them within members of the churches. So it disrupts the community completely. So there are these issues that are there. These religious guys, atiti mulala wali n'omundi yakolesa called salt. What does it mean? Salt kuba. This is some kind of weird things people do in those kind of areas. Ngabantu bali a little bit behind. So I know there's issues. The real issues are there. I didn't chinde cha sukari. Especially cha sugar. These sugar companies demonopolizing ekitundu. Abantu bakola sukari moja bakola they cultivate sugar. Ayinga bazirachi mmere ya bulido. So these are some of the issues.
Now just a short one. Chembala wembandita kulatiri wa ku minzani n'abala development. Ekitundu ekinakulankulana. Wekibanga tisiri mu trade ba mu kusuubula. Nga kimanibwa nti kisuubula kino webaba balimi balina bakune product. Busoga gyendi kwogera ku gyenkuba nti singa yakulira ku speed ginabonanga ndikulira ku Busoga yalina Busoga growers, that is cooperative. Nti abantu tibalinanga mirimu kujja mu makolero kukola. Abantu balimanga nga balina sure deal ndijja atwala ebintu mu cooperative ntweleyo omwani ntweleyo dduma tibajja kumpeerawo sente aye nina ka receipt kenje otwala ku isomero mbakobe nti bano nateereyo ensaudange dadduma ndino mu nsomekeza omwani era abaana basoma we have people abasoma kunkoleeyo abantu bafunanga esente nga abantu balina sente olwa systems edaaliwo Ubanga ojire rubuka actually yikolero likaliyo chiyunga wikolero eliasunsulanga pamba nali sayirana ni compound ya mera mwesu meaning ntekolero lyazimbwa nga abantu bali masi n'abantu bali mapamba abantu bali sawe no Royal Region ya didibo okulima emwani now Masaka ndi Buganda but Busoga yali emwani nti erima pamba erima emwani nga bali maduma but ebintu ebyo byonna byetuulira ku kintu kirala buti abantu balina ebikaado tibikasobola kuzaanawo paati
okuyizaawo bire
ebyaliwo meaning nti buti saawa bw'oba enkulankulana eri Busoga okobya otojja kwagana abantu bazimbi amayumba balina amamotoka but bw'oba olikobera omuntu nti kyekiva Busoga your competitive advantage tuli kunonya katale ku international level let every region present its own nti Western ife tujatunda kino Central tujatunda kino kozi kamba kobere kunti esiretero omuntu omwavungo zirasho otunda now Busoga elijja ku presenting us nti ntunda kino if we are in trade saweno the songo is tulina ebikaado the problem of it agula abatashiguze you don't have an alternative
no there's alternatives actually
Busoga sawe.
Lekankobere ku bya ssukaali kubanga ife tuli mu ssukaali twena. Ku kya ssukaali ekyali ekizibu ekisinga amaanyi, it was a big monopoly. Waliwo just 3 companies nga ne setting a price wachi owa ssukaali. Aye obutuno buno buyidde bungi ino. Era mu companies no company dakola ino kakuyege. Okumaking sure nti buno butuno babulemesesa mwijukira bakuba we don't want anybody 20 miles within our boundary. I think in zoning policy. Zoning policy says some of our people who represent us in our companies, they are squad. If it will no, these guys are being monopolistic. This is a free economy. This is a liberalized economy. Ate chakola ino busoga bubi. Kubanga balenga ngawona wakobe nti wabatagukula kusukali ngezera omutwala ngodiba nayi.
So economics was ekirungi oli musuubuzi. Mu economics wa sukali obukolera obwo obweyongera kuina kyebuyamba omuntu wa bulido oba bwongere kutufiiriza. Tino okutusuubira okutukuba ekigo.
On my opinion, for example, the sugar company I'm part of, right? 2,000 people, right?
I don't know that.
Directly.
I don't know that.
Chida kugera ino kubanga chenda kutabika mbantu bandi. More than 2,000 people.
2,000?
Yeah. It's in the small companies we are, I think, number 2. Aye, kankuweko busoga. Mayuge, for example. Mayuge may be employing even more than 2,000 people. And it's controlling the economy of that whole region. Wotambula kubanga Mayuge nabayire yokwino nabo na.
You may not worry the number, but even the impact over 5,000. Abantu ababali 5,000.
So you're going.
Abakola muyikolere. Is it really an achievement?
No. So there's how sugar companies work. Sugar company is never just sugar company. Okay, Mayuge doesn't have a lot of plantations. For example, for us, we have a lot of plantations. Plantations, we have road maintenance, we have hospitals.
Yes.
Within the sugar plantation.
Those are the social services,
yes.
The attendant benefits supposed to come with the development
abaguza abantu ebintu microeconomy which is created around that. So for these companies, there's a real big impact in the communities they live in. Now, let me give you an example in the United States. If Mpegano, what this country as a whole needs to strategize and collaborate as regionally. In the United States, so yagananga ife aba Massachusetts tuli babasomi. Health, education, we are best in that in the world. Health and education is that's our yeshiche malibwa. Wofuna complications dondona bakuletawa. Webalemera mundu museserindi bakuflying out. There's a few other areas in the country that have those similar capabilities, but not as concentrated as Massachusetts.
You do it as a social service, or it's paid for? Is it people pay for it? Like
there's nothing free in the United States. Okay. So we have a health insurance. I think the country here, Uganda, is also trying to do the same thing, having health insurance. But health insurance is paid through your employer. So it's now compulsory in the country that everybody must have health insurance. Yeah. Anyway, so to go back to strategy. Mpegano jeyo mu Ohio, mu Nebraska, in the mid states. Oya gananga cheba kola chonka. Soya, duma, olikubana. Baba kwecho chonka.
Government yalo yachikopa kwa ngeli yakopeleza ketebyeze bulungi.
Janga mu Texas. Oja kwaga nente. Hundreds of thousands. So there are states that have taken. At Texas, nte na oil. But nte na oil. Louisiana, just oil. It just runs on oil. So, Abompegano was supplying the whole country. They supply the whole country. So it could work here as a model for this country.
Under the PDM, the parish model.
Exactly.
No. Right. Every parish has money.
Right.
But don't do the same thing.
Exactly.
Let parish A grow tomatoes.
Right.
Parish B grow potatoes. So that parish C concentrates on medical care,
right,
and buys food from these ones. Right. These ones also take money here to get this service.
Exactly.
But
it could work. That could work.
As you think.
I know it could work. It's just a system of government here which needs a little tweaking and making it work. It's not just a Busoga thing. At Busoga, back in the day, Pamba Yavanga North, you know what? Busoga East and North. You're supplying the whole country. We even exported it. So, economy where chuka. The finest cotton. Yeah, we were known for that. Unfortunately, that.
Now, do you see that the substitution of sugarcane with all what we have, is it a steady progress?
So it doesn't happen in sugarcane. This has happened in the last 15, 20 years. The substitution, I think, about 15 or 20 years. So these things, they take time for them abantu okutegeera system n'okugikozesa okuba nga effective. So the chembo nanga inyuma especially wali nga kachira yenka ni chinyara, right, ni lugazi, it was very bad. They control the prices. One day you're okay, one day you're very badly off because the price range was up and down. I think bona baidi or controlling a supply.
In just seconds. In just seconds. If you met the president, or if you met anybody who can change this country, either the current president or the next president, yakubuza ati chemba nkolere Busoga estuke. Just one thing like this.
I've already proposed so many things. As I told you, I was the president of Tregate International.
Yes.
So my frustration, especially Busoga and the leaders of Busoga, because I've proposed many things to some of these folks. Just by themselves.
Because
yes. So I told the people, especially I think I am not sure why things failed, and also ministry. The vice president's office. I think Patrick Ibembe was, I think, in that office, and I reached out to him back in the day. What Prime Minister's office, one of those two offices. Anyway, I was part of the Northern Uganda Rehabilitation Program, and I helped a lot. Just a strategy, business studies, no chaza of Uganda, the United States, what can they do to develop the North? The North Begano, Bakwambe Singachi, Ebusoga development.
Yes,
but that was the program that made it
better.
Made it jump and removed a lot of issues, right?
So
your program yeneyo naje proposing na kubanda pegana Busoga bakwa mne single bwavu. To give a program yeyo nitugitewa Busoga a special program for Busoga na kuba nokuba. It is very important for us to appoint a regional minister for the area just for that program.
Did you tell Toyota that? Because you met Toyota.
Not yet. Kubanga, as I told before, I stepped back from some of these things for a little bit to focus on my businesses.
Have you met Muhoozi?
Now I'm back. I failed to meet Muhoozi because there's some issues that are happening in the country which need to be taken care of. So he's going for some special programs.
Him that?
So yeah.
Met him 7.
So not yet. I've not met Muhoozi, and by the way, my time has been very limited. I think I'm going to then I have a diaspora what view. You know, kuidana acclimatize myself. Not to get into mwene before I just go around. So it's very important for me to understand these things.
Let's have a short break. We'll be right back to the Nimwase Andrew Isentebe Wabanaife, our team chairman, our diaspora ni chairman wa team chairman MK movement mu diaspora. Kati umule.
Anga neza tuide ku kintu kya.
Eno ni Ganga Mukaku. Eno ni Baba TV Obusoga Bulaire.
Olowooza okutuukiriza ekirooto kyo tukwanjulira Coral Coatings.
Abantu abayitagana ku street amasa, so just street dino gang issues about 50. Bano school shootings in the last 2 weeks. We have had 2 school shootings in the United States. These are mass murders. So when you want to picture a country that way, Bantu by Daklozant is anarchy there. So when I began now relate to Uganda, we have had 2 incidents for how long? Just 2 incidents.
They may not be 2.
I'm just saying in the last 2 or 3 weeks, those 2 incidents are standing out. You can call them 5. In the United States, the things we have here in 1 month happen in 1 day. In 1 month, or maybe in 6 months, they will happen maybe in a week. So now I'm talking about the United States. Now go down to Mexico. You can triple that, right? So other countries have real issues, like big issues. Now, the guys from Kasese, you remember again, they came from outside of the country. We chased those people, the ADF, away from this country. They are operating within where? Within Congo. So when you look at the country generally, I say, of course, binebintu yobulido. Abasada wa itibaku babana ibe masasi bano ba askari. from frustrations, right? There was a string of murders, right? So these small incidents happen in every state, in every country. Wow. So we can't count on that and say this. No, the states in the country is secure. You can travel from here and cross to Muyenga, Yetuvire, nga tofuna kizibu, nga buli kintu kiri okay. Also kuja guru watu kabulungi waira. In fact, we fly even these days. So the country is in a state of control. But there's always, those commissions will always be there. Last time they killed kids in Kasese, they were, I think, 78. That was 1980s, right?
Something wrong.
That's what happened. So there's been a stretch of a long time. If in the United States, we have these things on the daily. So, Wano, you guys are peaceful. I have to guarantee you that. And for me, I've lived in bad neighborhoods where there are gunshots every night in the United States. Every night, the gunshots and ambulances running back and forth. Those neighborhoods exist in the United States. So, I'm just giving a comparison. When this is not peace. Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. There's a lot of places where it's very serious unrest. Massive. So that's where I'm coming from is that by saying you guys are peaceful. This country is in state of peace. And the government, the NRM has done a good job of making sure that happens. And the MK movement will make sure they maintain that peace. In
your mind, I want to pick this from you. So you think Timu Uganda tukalya kajanja?
Yes, because it's just ignorance. Oh, hell has broken loose. No. Those things will continually happen. Those groups exist everywhere. In fact, in the United States, we have rebel groups. We have two major rebel groups. One of them is those white supremacists. Remember when they attacked the Capitol in the United States? That's a rebel group. It's not because they are white, does not been called out that way, but it's a real rebel group. They attacked the Capitol of the United States. So these issues are really, and they killed police officers in broad daylight on TV. So yes, it's because people don't know what's happening in the rest of the world. But yeah, this place is actually very peaceful, right? It's very peaceful, and we are so peaceful that we're extending security across the other countries. We're helping to pacify their issues, right? We're a regional stabilizer. You have to be proud of yourselves as Ugandans. We are a regional stabilizer in this region. We are it. We are those people. When you tap on your shoulders, this country, this government has done a good job in that area. Let me
take you back to the peaceful Uganda. In the last 3 months, a UPDF soldier shot down his own boss, a minister.
And we've talked about that.
Say one. In that, just after a week, an unknown person shot down a blogger, Ichuri or Access.
Yes.
Just on Friday, the ADF attacked Uganda and shot and killed what they killed.
Right.
I thought that in this very week, in Jinja, a journalist was killed.
Was hacked to death. Yes.
In Jinja College, again, someone else, a student, was someone molested and nearly killed. Does Uganda still remain peaceful?
Yes. As I said before, it's so relative. The way I'm coming from, this is not comparable. You can't compare that stuff to where I come from. No, absolutely not. In the country south of me, in Mexico, this is tripled. So it's just it's a state of mind. Now, you can say the other countries like Belgium, Switzerland. Well, if you compare yourself to those countries, yes, there's some issues here because those people don't see any of these things for years. They never experience some of these things. But some of these things also, when you look at those countries, they don't have the demographics, for example, that we have. They don't have the affairs that we have. For example, as we are densely populated here, very high, and you're going to find those issues in some of these areas. And our development is raising very rapidly. Some people are being marginalized, right? That happens in a highly developing society. So we are going to get some of these issues. And then we have other administrative issues that have to be sorted out, especially in cases of these people who are shooting their bosses. But yeah, those issues happen. But I'm just comparatively, it's relatively peaceful. And I gave you the example. You can travel from one end of the country on a daily. I have people who work in Gulu, right? Back in the day, you could not go to Gulu, right? there was very restless out there. There was a lot of things going on there. There was a big war going on there with Connie and everybody. Now there's all that thing is gone. Now Gulu is becoming a very big, Gulu is now a city, and that whole region is developing. So you can see there's serious progress, and there's because of peace. And that's my argument. And I beg to say somebody can differ from that argument. But that's how I see this country.
That's my contribution.
What is the honest truth about Mr. Museveni's ratings in the diaspora? Are Ugandans in the diaspora
So
really?
I said before, our folks, especially people on the other side, the opposition, and for me, I'm actually very tolerant. I sit down with people in the opposition, we talk. Some of them had no idea I was been a cadre for a very long time because I am very tolerant myself personally. But I have to guarantee you, this country has not done a good favor. This country has a lot of good things. In fact, people say we are the nicest people in the world, the Ugandans, and Basogas especially. We are very homely, nice people in the world. That doesn't appear anywhere in the radar in any place in the. In their blogs, we have met the friendliest people in the world. Have you heard that on a news headline? No, but people say that consistently. They have met the friendliest people in the world. Our environment here is, I think, one of the best environments in the world, right? Our things you want to see here for tourism, almost the best things in the world. So when people pick these things that are little issues, like I said, even in your families, right? You have these issues everywhere.
Are you answering my question?
Yeah, I'm answering. They highlight the issues externally. Now everybody thinks we have an evil empire. That's what the diaspora thinks. Everybody in the diaspora thinks we have an evil empire. Like they really, really do not like the government. So I would say...
And we hear you in the diaspora attacking every leader here,
yes,
telling them
yes,
that is hell,
so,
there is trouble here.
As soon as the leader steps outside of the boundaries of Uganda, they have seen the devil himself, the folks in the diaspora. So they go after them. So for me, what I'm saying is that we need to do a better job of marketing our country, especially when you want people to bring money here, FDI, foreign direct investment. If you want that money to come here, or even global competitiveness, right? If you want to compete on a global level, our product to sell everywhere from Uganda, we need to market our country. We need to highlight. Opposition is very important because they show you where you are lacking. But also, you see our government, our systems in the United States. We don't focus on just those things we're lacking. No. The people in America are the most patriotic people in the world. They love their country. They will tell you that it's the best country in the world. I know there's a lot of issues in America, but America markets itself as the best country in the world with all those issues, right? So we need to get a sense of patriotism and love our country, market it first as the best place to go, the best destination, and then we work on our issues, our internal issues here. Yes.
You're one person I would love to have every week here. If that was possible, I would have you every week.
Yeah.
The people in the diaspora, majority, believe there is an evil empire.
Yes, that's true. There's no sugarcoating that.
Now let's go to you.
Yes.
What do you believe?
No, as I said before.
Haven't you experienced the evil empire yourself?
In this country?
Yes.
So I've had issues that everybody has, right, in this country. I drive on some roads that sometimes are not very good to drive on. And when I get there, I feel like I've had a big massage and been slumped by sticks everywhere because of bumps I'm experiencing in the car. So everybody goes through that, right? Those are issues. I have a very big family. I take care of a good chunk of people in my family, right? So those people there, I see the issues they go through. I know there's issues there. And I've seen things we have done that have failed to get out of their state of poverty. So there are even issues in my family. And I know health delivery, for example. Mulago has, when you go to Mulago, you see these accidents of these bike guys every single day. And when you go to the villages, it has improved slightly, but not as people, still women die of maternal childbirth. So all the things are still there. There's some issues here, and I've experienced them in my own family. I'm fighting people who are squatters on my land, right? They decided to possess 5 acres of my land, to just decide that it's theirs, and I'm trying to get them off. And everybody fights that, right? People who encroach on land and try to take your land. So these issues are there in this country. I know there are those issues. Overall, I'm very healthy, as you see me, right? I'm a very healthy man. I'm doing some businesses here in this country. I've contributed to this country. I have a few businesses here, and they're doing pretty well, and we're progressing. So, with those issues, my businesses are growing. And I said before, when you cultivate an environment of peace and a liberalized economy, some people will develop. And a lot of people have developed. And again, I said Uganda has the most entrepreneurs in the world. Remember that, right? So yes, those issues are there, but still, we need to say the good things.
Wonderful. Oyoni Mwase, Uganda has the best entrepreneurs in the world, but of course, the world's listings of the rich, the most rich people in the world, or even in Africa, have only one Sudi Rupaleria listed in Africa among Ugandans, but Uganda has the best entrepreneurs. Mwase, you need to be coming here, we need to be debating this with you. You're the best, because you think, you look at this kind. How I wish you had time to come and help Mr. Museveni with these public relations. You'd be the best Minister of Information and National Guidance here, the best government spokesperson here. You'd actually have to rebrand this country.
Yes, and that's the biggest thing that I want. The biggest issue I want even to involve the diaspora is we need to do, and I have a lot of friends with a lot of riches, even in the White House. So my job, especially for the government here and even for the MK movement, is to rebrand this country and give a good image of this country. In fact, invite investment from especially the United States, the Europe, to come to Uganda.
Webale, oliku Baba TV, mwesi gweda shika ibiri ku ebyokwerinda mu igwanga.
Mwesi wabere alikuwa comparison ya America ni Uganda. Ngoligezaako mupininga.
Otaire yo ino. Ngaligezaako omubuuza.
Obere oli mupininga ngaliko banti Uganda tuli peaceful. Wamulaga ebiruwana.
Nakati akiri bulungi.
Mbe ndio bonanga mwena alikulaga nti Uganda eri mirembe oli mulaga nti Uganda teri mirembe.
Bwesi tuli kuiwe wabona otya.
Comparison ya master tasobola atubashiriwani. Embera gyalimu webanga muntu yali kumukerere ningi. Amatoge ganda ngekerere. Now, mu Uganda mwakatandika okufuna kukerere. So yimo mutafuna kukerere. Webaya akakerere akakuba kuba kerere ebitire mu Uganda. That's the situation there. And in America and developed countries, those people fight because of the economy. They will tell you, mu Uganda, why do we see this as...
What is the economics in drug addictions? Because you talked about that as a problem. Many people go do street shootings just out of maybe drugs and so.
It is out of deals. Those are deals.
There's two things. So there's drugs. Drug addictions also causes that. Mental issues. And also just deals, as you said. It's just sheer business. Somebody just wants to eliminate the other person. And most of the gang wars that happen in places where there are gangs, in the inner cities, right? Inner cities are urban cities, right? In urban places and cities. So there's always those skirmishes, gang wars and all kind of stuff going on. And even simple business, right? Just simple business things. One guy wants to undercut the other guy, he hires somebody to take him out. So those happen. They do happen. And I think the biggest ones is those gang wars and people who have mental issues. We have a big mental issue in the United States.
So now coming to Uganda, the question of security, Russia and Uganda, even an isolated case, Ngandalate, we prominent it to Akuba and to listen, because we are not used to it for quite long. Issue ne ya abantu abageme mundu okubanga bali kubayiwa kuma. It is new. It is a new item on the menu. So, bwe kida kyabana Uganda tibakibonangako. Of course, sidabatisa. Mu development tulina musho, tulina debate and acceptability. Ekyabantu bageme mundu bakuba abantu abandi saa no siri ku debate, kyasooka kyaba show ngola the minister. We started debating it. Very soon kijatuka ku acceptability. People no longer give it attention.
And that's what happened to our school shootings. It was also a shock in the beginning. Ngawa she described it exactly. Now, it's part of life. Everybody, school shootings are not news anymore. It's just, we live with it.
That nature, it will not make headlines. It may, but it is what took a yombi. That's why to if government, the custodian.
We have so far in the history, my memory, burnt down 4 schools. Shishwamba, nawo Kasese, nene lyaba muzibe Mukono, and others. just ban and would burning down schools. And nobody has a report of who is behind that. They will say first common accidents, second electric circuits, the other day rebel groups, like that. We have had 4 major ones that I can remember of CAF immediately. And so
But not just the schools.
I have loved
Even some markets have been
I have
banned.
loved Mwesigwa's description. Shock, debate,
Acceptability.
acceptability. So
We are
these
trying to
shootings, these murders are no longer a shocking thing.
No.
We have also debated them actually, how they happen and what it happens. We are now at a level of accepting that after all, that's
It's
life.
just part of
And
life.
Mwasa is preparing us there. That what you see
But the
here,
worst,
I
this
just,
year where
you are calling them just offshoots. Just offshoots. So.
And for your information, what is bringing acceptability in Uganda? Twatuka twabibona nga bya bulido is because we don't get reports. Obe olibala nti buddo kishwamba ndwati. Now when you are waiting eagerly to cover ani yakola kino.
Then something else
Because
happens.
investigation is achieved now. Olibona contradiction is ediri mu kasese saga. So
Is it an ownership? Is it an ownership wrangle? A supremacy fight? A Mumbere lease thing?
And somebody attached it to
A Zulu attack, anger? Or is it the ADF attack? What is it?
and at last somebody will say, out of a lot of confliction, ebyo byabufuzi. And whenever politics
That's, yeah,
comes
we are going
in
to
everything,
that's it. We are going to
is
brush it off
surrender.
like ebyo byabufuzi. It's going to happen, and the spin doctors of government, like Mr. Mwasa, will be quick. Will be the first ones to tell us this is byabufuzi. It's quick byabufuzi, but man, this cannot be byabufuzi.
So-
tujja kuwumulamu
Yeah.
eddakiika ntono. When we come back, we'll look at the political focus, the political spotlighting on Busoga sub-region, where Mwase and scores of others are fronting the MK movement. Team chairman in Busoga is now like a faith. It's spread everywhere like bushfire. Team chairman, MK team chair. Olowooza oti ndowooza andikiriza yonna eri awo. Steady, but anyway, let's have a short break. We'll be right back after this one.
in the same region.
Again, I was coming back to Busoga, what you mentioned. So, historically, Busoga has been a deciding factor in the leadership of this country. If you don't win in Busoga, or the hearts of the people in Busoga, it's very difficult to win this country. So everybody knows that, and so some of the strategy for some of the leaders here, they understand that, and that's why some of the strategy moves to Busoga. If Busoga, people call us hard-headed sometimes, but when you make a decision that we're going to support somebody, we support that person. If we don't like you, we don't like you. And so sometimes it's very difficult to change our mindsets. So you have to look at kuyega obulungi ende Busogeyo, okuba ku national platform, okuba nga ojja kutwala, ojja kututimbula ekintu kyolegezaako okukuza. So Busoga is critical in any political group. So that's why I think there's a lot of emphasis in Busoga. Ayenga kyemukobe ku kiri ekindi. Sometimes people, when you want to take advantage of people who are a little bit vulnerable. So I won't dismiss that, and I wanted, you guys know Busoga better than me, maybe you can debate that. Nzembona, on the political side, Busoga is very critical in determining the future leadership of this country. In terms of abantu obulido, kubanga Busoga is not doing very well, ngawe tukopye.
So if we are critical, Mwasi, I agree that Busoga is critical in determining the next leadership. So we ready? Have we prepared our population ready to negotiate, to tap into, to reap from our critical positioning?
So what you've said is very important. Time and time again, some of these groups are supported, and then the benefit is not felt. Like, you know, there's this debate about building Kamali Road. You know how long that took? It took ages, with a lot of leadership in Busoga, just to build that one key road into the heart of Busoga. Being promised for decades, actually. It took decades for people from Busoga going to government, and even people being in administration. Top leaders in administration, just in local administration, but without thinking about Busoga for service delivery. I don't know if it's a distance from central government, but we're not even that far, right? Busheng is further away from Kampala than Busoga. We can say that Mbara is further away. So I think in terms of advocacy, in that chamber in the Kobanti, I can give you an example. When Busoga came together once, almost on the same page, not everybody on the same page, to bring Shabazinga back. We put some of our issues on the side. There were some people who didn't agree, of course, but most leaders came together. Twegaite was very involved in that when I was president of Twegaite, and we involved Michala Kadaga led the effort here in this side, and we brought a lot of people on board to make sure we get our Shabazinga, right? And that was a unifying thing. That's the first time I saw Busoga coming together to do something very, very important. And I think we can do the same thing again. We can advocate for service delivery, but for a long time we have failed to do that. And I think we failed to do that and chatukosaino. So try to kusoma mwiri yalinge gwire kumpi. Abavuka abe mwiri fa abasomera yokuni fo twavayo twajigema mutwa a lot of work to make sure we bring it back, and we brought the right people on board. So I've been to be in Busoga before because I think of leadership. Now abantu kubanga bone tibali kulowooza ku bantu ngaye bali kwerowooza ku bene fast. So ekintu kikosisa ine ekintu ekyo. Era kyayiza abantu inuma mu ndowooza. So there can be vulnerability there because education yagwa, abaana abawala they get married very early. I think we have the earliest child pregnancies in girls, right, in Busoga. Abana kufumbiranga abana underage. So there's a lot of issues. Even if religion, religious people taking advantage of people who are vulnerable. So these issues are there. And there's a bit of vulnerability. Maybe this MK movement will be our savior. But when I met the leaders in Busoga, MK people, it wasn't about promising anything. It was about using their resources themselves. Diaspora. So Zembonanga movement, MK movement, we can do some of the things. There are some of the programs here. I'm bringing some big programs in the whole country, not just for Busoga. I'm bringing 2 key programs here. It's not very visible. You will see in the next maybe 3 months. Very visible programs. But I really want to focus Nganzo Vira Busoga so much on Busoga, making sure these programs are taking off in Busoga. A lot of them have gardens which are not registered in any SACCO or any legal entity anywhere else. Over program my garden there's no business plan within the gardens. So no kugira neighbor leaders by when think about business when you're doing your stuff. Loans, you have nowhere to ask for the loan. You don't have something was legal kulaganti na hakolanti ndikutambulanti. So nganzo wa diaspora binabi namba abantu ba Fiber Busoga. Era ni programs zinjo kuleta ni dineti jo kuyamba abantu ba ife ndikutanikira kwa leaders themselves who have some of these programs. Na abantu abani betu identify zabali kola very well ni Busoga abasoga bena. So ebintu zebendi kuleta focusing on Busoga. But I think chatogereko echo vulnerability eyo eri mukuko because people are really poor. And chindi politically is absolutely important. So when you combine both of these, that's why you find a flux of people running to Busoga to make their case.
Mwesigo, the political focus on Busoga, is it justifiable?
Masa Kobianti, Busoga decides leadership. It means even for 30 something, if we are made 40, the current government, which is NRM, meaning the presence of NRM in power, Busoga has a contribution. But that overwhelming support the Busoga region has given the current sitting government has Busoga benefited in those efforts if Busoga decides. Busoga shendi kuba national. Mwase wabakuba nti region ya Busoga wo batojiwangwire mu ngoli mukulembezi. Particularly ku Muntebe eri top y'obukulembezi oyinza obutawangula. Oyinza obutabisibwa bulungi. For the 40-something years, over 35, no generic road valley. Busoga mufuniemu, obati mufuniemu. Sasa imone ogeirenti, other regions, to see that those political activations, candidate political activations, desire. But rasibuli muntu ayita getinga Busoga, ebintu biri bisatu. Kiso sisemba kobi. Abasoga, for the 40-something years, by now basuubira badema afunda. Bwe bayo omuntu aida nga ali kulaga nti alijja atoola wole gwe balowooza nti tabakoleire kye baayenda bamuwa overwhelming support. Ndukira mu kalulu akaawa some parts of Busoga bakendeza support gye baali bawa ekibiina kya NRM and the NRM party believe nti support yakendere Busoga okwidda kw'omugendo gwa People Power ni National Unity Platform ebiketezo byalonda Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu ayi bamala balonda abaka ba parliament aba NRM kyakulaga nti Busoga eyinza okuba yalonda Bobi Wine lwakubanga nti oba oli abantu bamulonda nga baloza nti oba tumulonde ayinza okuba solution. It must be the same with the current trend nti oyo FDC eriko izenguli okuba ayiteeko no Busoga the MK movement the what buli muntu ayikulingira Busoga because Busoga as a region ekisooka bali hospitable baddawe Abasoga n'abasinga okusonyiwa Abasoga beerabira bakulingira wabakola ebisirisi ne bakusonyiwa because they are hospitable. So bano bona baidi nti abantu abangu abotembula emitima byadde Basoga tujeyo tubegayirire tubakobe balijashusa. But then the vulnerability ebeerewo for quite years nti Busoga yali n'esente dedde enkobe nti bajanga mu cooperative nga bali n'esente baidi omuntu ali n'esente muzibu wa kufuga because abatali jaba desperate sawa nesirita one other region it is desperation nti Busoga n'Abasoga by desperate nti balingirira the political heads as their rescue yakuba obaja kwida butolwedo tomorrow which is Saturday here there is a launch ya NRM zeituva kumenya kakindu many people will come tibaidero akusupportinga kiri ali bali kwida baidi nti oba anavaawo n'omutwalo oba njavaawo n'enkumya kubanga ewo aziramire embeere yakwetinga aziramire. Now for you when you see crowds of people bali kwida oyinza okuba I have supporters those people they are just being attracted to you because you are the one controlling the resources. So the issue is weribayo omuntu alidde Busoga ngaide for purposes of changing the economic stand of Busoga Abasoga ne bamuwa support n'atuukiriza ekyo you find the next person leader after you ayinza obutafuna overwhelming support gyebafuna. The current state of political atmosphere necreatingira abaida that support kubanga the Basoga vulnerable now they think let us try and error obonana atuyamba but the support is not inti buli waida bakwendaire. To prove this maliriza olukiiko obuleka oba waayo bajja kuvuma okoba oti ni bana abantu bali comprominga lastly twali ni launch ya
alright
nzokwogereza okatono kyakobe kituufu bana kubanga nze naidanga wenasa okujja okusobola okola needs assessment nalinga I don't know what you're talking about aina gyotuukeeyo muna abantu baali bangi baali abantu oti 2,000 abaali nga banindirire ayikuwa abe 2,000 olukumi nga n'olunaana baabaawo mu kasomero awo mu surrounding areas balaba okwida nga balowooza nsi ndirire nga bali of course bakuba nti ono musaada ayidire mu kitibwa NRM alina otuwaayo akasente
tibaidda kuwagira biwali
baidda kufuna kaki I totally agree with you on that point. So yeah, there's a lot of vulnerability, and sometimes it's little monies. It doesn't really show a bongo bounty just because by desperate be kufuna yakasente. So I agree with you on that.
Wonderful, right? On Baba TV program ganga muka tuli kumwana mukafaka Friday the inside out okulinga kuchiri munda twachikola twakiza kuluya tuli kulingirira Busoga na bali kujeyina mu byobufuzi ndikwenda kubuza banange bane kibuzo nga nekinasembayo oba nekinabe ekyokubi kubisembayo Busoga yandyetaaze president ki. I am not talking about the individual but the character and caliber of person. Which president do we need okukyusa ku Busoga? President mukulembeze ekibusoga yandyetaaze nga tujja ku birungo metubonani abirimu. Which president do you need for Busoga? In 1 minute.
I think I have to give a lot of kudos to our president, current president, General Museveni. And he's done what he can do, especially for the whole country.
Who has done what?
He's done quite a bit. I think when I went last time, change is gradual. Akoze kyasobola. Olebona era abaana irako bajja kugemera ku byakoze ebirungi babyongeze. In fact, ebintu byakoze bingi fundamentally birungi for this country. Aye, change is gradual. Era bikabula mu bingi. That's why we still have marginalized people. NRM came with one of the biggest things here that we're talking about, the biggest issues in NRM. We want to make sure we get rid of people who are marginalized. And that has been a big issue.
Has Mr. Museveni's government created any opportunities for development in Busoga? Has it created any opportunities?
Any opportunities?
Well,
yes.
we can say that maybe opportunities were created,
yes,
but maybe we, the Busoga, failed to tap into those opportunities.
I can give you an example.
Or that we are ready to tap into any opportunity.
No, but
no opportunity was
President
created.
Museveni has been very involved in Busoga. He was involved in our Chabazinga coming back directly himself. And we got quite a bit of help, especially financially and even politically, in making sure our Chabazinga comes back. That's one thing.
Is the Chabazinga an opportunity for the moment in Busoga?
I'm just giving you a few things. I can talk a lot about Chabazinga. I said when I was going to Mayuge, he had about 3 programs that were running. I mean, some simple sanitization programs, but these things are very important. But Chabazinga is doing some good things.
So I want us to
let me go to another one, though.
The individual, now the position or the
of
office,
the president, yes.
Has it been an opportunity
So,
in any way?
Yes,
for
so
development?
that is, I'm just
If
pointing
so,
out one thing.
How?
So the other thing, the budget of Ginger increased. We started doing some of the roads and also creating opportunities there for development in terms of factories. And the factories have developed. Not at the rate that you want, but factories have developed. Ginger is growing a little bit more, not as fast as we want it to grow, but the factories have grown. So those opportunities have been created. And then the other one is, he has been involved in some key issues, the sugar issue. The sugar issue of trying to kick out the small guys. The president sat down everybody on one table and chaired those meetings himself. So he was direct, and the meeting was in Mayuge.
Wonderful.
So he was being directly involved in our issues. As I said before, it's gradual. Omuntu asana, one thing you asked me, omuntu asana president okusana ogwetusana for Busoga ngawo chakobye, Mr. Mwesigwa, professor, what's ad hoc?
De facto.
De facto. Omuntu ajje Busoga na promising abasoga ekintu, especially service delivery, n'ebintu ebinyakulankulana abasoga nakikola. Oyo n'omuntu gwe twetaaga. President Museveni has tried more.
Nachikola, you emphasize
Nachikola.
because everybody promises.
Oyo omuntu gwe twetaaga Busoga.
So how do we tell nti ona nachikola? Era atukunya emyaka 4 takikoze. Yasuubiza nti
agezezaako okukola byasobola nga wenkobi era ebindi bibaire birungi. Ebindi bibaire birungi era
yasuubiza kujja kugezaako yasuubiza kujja kukola mwasi.
Akoze ku byakola. Ebindi yabikoze.
Yasuubiza kugezaako.
Ayendikoba, we can't have Busoga as the poorest district in this country. It's not acceptable. So that has to change one way or another.
Where do you get the confidence that Muhoozi will change?
So Muhoozi has put together,
For Busoga particularly.
Muhoozi has some people who are behind him, who are advising him properly, and is becoming a more presidential leader again and again and again from the things he's doing. His advisors are very strong on some things, key issues. Corruption, getting rid of some of the things that Mr. Busoga, corruption is I think foremost. So Muhoozi doesn't tolerate corruption. Does not tolerate corruption at all. There are some things, key things, some of these next leaders in Muhoozi, watola corruption, ebintu nga service delivery bidakuba a little bit more effective. And it's a hope, obviously. It's a hope.
Wonderful. It's been a wonderful discussion this Friday. The Inside Out with Professor de facto Samuel Mwesigwa and my brother Andrew Mwase, the chairman of Team Chairman MK Movement in the diaspora. The Inside Out to this special edition of this Friday ends right about now. Good morning.
Mwebalino. Mwebalidera. Good chaza. Thank you so much, everybody.